Okay, hi everyone, Qtall here. I'm going to react to this video. Huge shout out to my sub, my viewer, my precious Kazinia for linking me this video even though I'm a huge bleep. She gave this video to me one day ago when it came out and I didn't even watch it, but now I'm gonna watch it because I'm really curious what this video has to say. And she's right, I should watch it. There's one more thing I want to do before I have to just fix my sound. Should be good. We should be good to go.
Welcome to Eye on Arcasia, where we'll take a look ahead at all things Lost Art coming your way. With the upcoming May and June updates, we're preparing for an abyssal assault as we move towards Kazaros' front lines. These multiple updates will be spaced out across the next 2 months, so we're going to dive into the first look at those today and have a special guest come on to talk a little bit about some of the changes coming with them. The May update is coming next week on May 21st, and we'll start preparing you for all of the challenges ahead. Get ready to head to Rimeria, the land that guards the dawn, to continue the main story quest. Here, you'll need to track down Shandy and join forces with Rimeria's elders to help put a stop to Kazaros' growing power. The release of Rimeria will bring new rapport, NPCs, Adventurer's Tome collections, achievements, and much more rewards to earn. May will also bring you the Kazaros Raid Prologue quest, Night of Storms and Darkness. As
I wonder what eye level you have to
the
be.
Storm Tower, you'll be able to accept the quest from NPC Illusion Master Lilith.
Wait, can I?
In the Rimeria city of Shay.
I have to start the video all over
Complete
because
this to get ready for the
I was only
upcoming
looking at the words, not the pictures.
Welcome to Eye on Arcasia, where we'll take a look ahead at all things Lost Art coming your way. With the upcoming May and June updates, we're preparing for an abyssal assault as we move towards Kazaros' front lines. These multiple updates will be spaced out across the next 2 months, so we're going to dive into the first look at those today and have a special guest come on to talk a little bit about some of the changes coming with them. The May update is coming next week on May 21st, and we'll start preparing you for all of the challenges ahead. Get ready to head to Rimeria, the land that guards the dawn, to continue the main story.
Is Liberia outside her window?
Hold on. Shandy and join forces with Rimeria's elders to help put us. Get ready to head to Rimeria.
Liberia is outside her window.
To continue the main story quest. Here, you'll need to track down Shandy and join forces with Rimeria's elders to help put a stop to Kazaros' growing power. The release of Rimeria will bring new rapport, NPCs, Adventurer's Tome collections, achievements, and much more rewards to earn. May will also bring you the Kazaros Raid Prologue quest, Night of Storms and Darkness. As the Alliance prepares to head to the Storm Tower, you'll be able to accept the quest from NPC Illusion Master Lilith in the Rimeria city of Shay. Complete this to get ready for the upcoming raid, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Now, to go in depth about a few of the other features you can look forward to with the coming updates, I have our very own Mr. Hardcore Henry.
Hello everybody! Just wanted to stop by and make sure you were ready for the release of the next batch of activities. In the May update, we're going to open up the Drextalis Guardian Raid and Curzon Front Nefta Operation 1 for characters 1700 plus.
1700 plus!
Some juicy new Fate Embers, include things like Relic and Raven Selectors. And in the Curzon Front, you can also snag the latest Ebony Cube tickets, also ringing in at item level 1700 plus for Unlock 3. And of course, there's going to be a matching 1700 plus Chaos Gate.
Great, thanks. And after the May update comes out, players are going to want to prepare for 2 major updates coming in the month of June. The first will release 2 weeks after the May update and include the release of Kazaros Raid Act 3, Night of Storms and Darkness.
Act 3 is going to come with a few QOL adjustments from its initial release in Korea, and will also have the Frontier mode applied for the Western version. This raid is definitely a challenging one, so I hope the hardcore folks have fun in the first few weeks, as it will become more accessible for everyone else and their alts as the Frontier system begins to kick in.
Is it?
Act 3 is also going to introduce levels 3 and 4 of Advanced Honing, raising the highest achievable item level by 20. It's going to function very similarly to the original release of Advanced Toning, where normal mode will help grant you the materials for the first 10 levels, and hard can be used for both.
What's the
There's also
highest
going to be
level
two
then?
new Ancestor Grace effects to help you. So I wish you the best of luck in both the raid and in your Advanced Toning. May you receive minimal chisels.
The second June update is going to come later in the month and will include the postlude for when everything is said and done and our heroes have vanquished Mordum. Hopefully. I'm also happy to share that this episode of Eye on Arcasia won't be the only time you see Henry and I this month. On May 17th, we'll be joined by Matt for a special team update video. I'm not going to get into the details of what we'll be sharing quite yet, but what I can say is we're looking forward to touching on a couple key pieces of recent community feedback and giving you a look at some of the things we'll be working on pretty much throughout the rest of the year, and we'll see how far that goes. Thanks for joining me here today, and Henry here today, for another episode, and as always, we'll see you back in Arcasia.
Short and sweet. I wonder
Release
what
in Korea.
eye level you have
He's
to
gonna
be
come
to
with a few
enter
Night of Storms and
Rimeria. It's probably
Darkness.
1700.
Date and include the dates coming in the month of June.
Hopefully 1680.
Date and include Storms and Darkness.
He's going to come with from its initial release in Korea, and will also have the Frontier mode applied for the Western version. This raid is definitely a challenging one, so I hope the hardcore folks have fun in the first few weeks, as it will become more accessible for everyone.
Storms and Darkness.
Chaos Gate.
Great, thanks. And after that,
Unlock 3. The new Fate Embers include things front Nefta Operation 1, the release of the next batch of activities. In the May update, we're going to open up the Drextalis Guardian raid and Curzon front.
Hello guys, TKT's here for your comfortable Lost Ark Life. Today I'm going to cover slightly different issues in this video. The gem related system that the director mentioned last time has been revealed. So I will briefly cover those contents, and I'll also cover contents that will disappear in the near future. Here is a new gem tuning system that will be added. The new gem is called Brilliance, or the Gems of Shin. Since there is no official translation right now, I will just call it Kwangi. This newly added gem
That's
has
pretty.
not have a separate icon. That is, although there is no difference in the images, you can think of it as a combination or integration of the two types of gem that are currently separated. The Annihilation gem, which is an attack power gem, and the Crimson gem, which is a cooldown gem. From the beginning of the season 3,
Oh
as
my.
the director said that they will create free builds and setting, this new gem can freely choose and change the attack power and cooldown effect of the desired skill. In addition, just like the existing tier 4 gems has a basic attack power increase buff, this gem tuning system will further strengthen that basic attack power buff effect, in addition to the basic attack power increase buff of the tier 4 gem. In addition, you can use the gem that you do not want to tune. That is, you can use the existing tier 4 gem as they are, or you can convert only the gem you want through the gem tuning and use them mixed together to create a character gem build. Of course, the existing number of equip-able gems will remain at 11, and you can equip new gem in all 11 or use tier 4 gem as they are. In other words, you can use the change gems or not freely. In addition, this new gem system makes it easier to apply preset. In the past, if you change the presettings, you have to manually change the effect of the gem one by one, and you have had to use silver to change the effect randomly. But this tuning system can also be set to change automatically when changing preset. In other words, the gems will be applied immediately without the players having to manually change the preset they created by selecting skills and effect. In some way, it is a very useful system. Of course, the new gem tuning system doesn't only have advantages.
Shit.
In fact,
That's
even
awesome.
before we received the good
Good
reviews,
for me.
or
Oh no,
before
bound to
the
character.
update,
Oh no,
there
not good.
were
No good.
already
No
many
good. No
things
good.
that received bad reviews. First, the gem tuning system mentioned above changes its factors to character bind. In other words, when this gem is used for gem tuning, it becomes immediately bound to that characters. This bound gem cannot be traded to another character, and it cannot even be traded between roster characters. Of course, this system that makes it untradeable can be taken back by returning to tier 4 gems. The problem is the cooldown requires to get back. You have to wait 168 hours to return it to the tier 4 gems. Of course, I don't know if they are aware of this problem, but they said you can shorten that time by consuming blue crystals. But that hasn't been covered yet, so we don't know exactly how many blue crystal this cost. So if you don't want to use up your blue
fine,
crystals, you can efficiently use your gem rotation with your alt without any cost by following this shift schedule. Well, not more to say. So here are some small insights from the community analysis, like how effective this new gem tuning is and how we should countermeasure it. These images shown this time not only simply reveals the basic information of the gem, but also slightly reveals the basic attack power buff that was mentioned earlier. As shown in this image, so since the existing tier 4 level 9 gem has an additional effect of increasing the basic attack power buff by 1%. If it is a gem of the same level, the gem that utilizes this tuning system has an additional basic attack power of 0.5% higher. Even if it is the same level 9 gems, it shows a damage performance differences about a 3% to 5%. Of course, for a more accurate calculation, the support buff should be reflected, but for now, since the information that has been revealed is limited, so we have to test it out manually after the actual release. The most notable thing here is that the additional attack damage increase buff is 1.5% on the converted level 9 gem. In simple terms, if you only look at this additional attack power increase buff, the current tier 4 level 10 gem is 1.2%. So it is slightly higher in the aspect of basic attack power increase effect. So here's the slightly estimated figures, and I think that the approximate gem related damage performance will be formed like this. In simple terms, if you have level 9 and level 10 gems, you can think of it as receiving a buff. But one thing you need to aware that higher level tier 4 gems will likely slightly outperform the gem tuning in general, because the difference in cooldown gems will make some differences. But the problem is, if you just equip this gem with your main character, it won't be a problem. If you have to use this gem on multiple characters, it could be a problem. This is because in order to rotate the gem, this gem tuning activity must be avoided. In other words, in order to compete with characters who use this gem tuning, you have to upgrade the gem you currently have by 1 level. However, for those who use all 6 characters as same characters, it is less of a problem. But for those who use 2 or